when it floats, when the
7:30.
storm water is black, or the storm water, the shed is black, and the storm water, then contact.
That's everywhere, all over Darien.
Mr. Gombeck, hold. I'd like to call our city council meeting to order and ask everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The roll, please.
Belkey. Here. Belzak.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Marquez.
Here.
McIver. Here. Shower.
Here.
Seifert.
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. We added this to our city agenda a few years ago to give the opportunity to any residents in the audience to address the council on any subject matter. It didn't have to be an item that's on the agenda this evening. Does anyone want to address the council at this point? Then let's move on to the approval of the minutes of April 20th, 2015. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Belkey. Any additions or deletions for the clerk? Then the roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Abstain?
Seifert.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
6 ayes, 1 abstention.
The minutes have been approved. The next item is receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications to share? Alderman Belkey?
I received a request from a resident to look into a possible pedestrian crosswalk in Clarendon Hills Road, either by 68th Street or 69th Street. But it's real tricky where those streets line up across from each other. They're not end of the street to end of the street. One side of the street is the intersection, and the other one, in this case, would line up to somebody's driveway. So it's a little tricky there. And there's, Dan's going to comment a little bit about there's any possible grants that are available on Clarendon Hills Road. And then also there was a recent study on Roger Road and Clarendon Hills Road.
Correct. And this section is actually between 67th Street and Plainfield Road on the east side. Part of the concern is that there's a certain portion between 67th Street and almost Roger Road, to where there's limited sidewalk or patches of sidewalk. Recently, we've had two requests. One was on Roger Road. That one was responded by telling that resident that he does have the opportunity to cross at the signal, which is at Plainfield Road, and that is a little bit closer than the other concern that we got, closer towards 68th Street. With that said, the simple answer could be yes, that you could go over to High Road and take High Road all the way to Plainfield Road, but obviously that does not make it as conducive as being able to walk across the street. Part of the problem is that there are no connectors, no sidewalk links, if you want to say, from the east side to the west side, basically to get to Community Park. That's one of the drives there. In conjunction with that, we recently had the opportunity to take Clarendon Hills Road from 67th Street up to Plainfield within the city limits and designate that portion as an FAU route. An FAU route is basically something that becomes eligible for additional funding through federal programs, and that includes things as such things as sidewalks, stormwater, curb and gutter, resurfacing projects, and potentially pedestrian signals and or crosswalks. We reached out also to our consultant in regards to mid-block crosswalks, and unfortunately they're not recommended, especially with the speed as well as the amount of traffic. One of the things that we're currently looking at is a pedestrian signal. What that pedestrian signal, would it be a full-blown signal, or would it be just I'll call it poles where residents can basically hit a button and the light will start flashing, similar to what's on Cass near the tracks, for example, something in that respect. So again, this is all very premature. We're working with CLOA, our traffic engineer, so hopefully we'll have some more answers as well as potential budgeting, cost items, and applications for further grants through the federal authority.
Thank you. Any other communications to share? I received a phone call from Nancy Wydra, who happens to live on Timber Lane. She advised me that she has she noticed a pothole on her street on Timber Lane. So can staff get out there and take a look?
Yes.
If there's no other communications to share, let's move to the mayor's report, and I do not have a report this evening. Let's move to the city clerk's report.
I have two things, Madam Mayor. First, meet and greet with the mayor will take place on Monday, May 18th at 6 p.m. here at City Hall in the upstairs conference room. And also, we received the election abstract from DuPage County for the April 7th consolidated election, and I'd like to give those percentages. For the office of Mayor, Kathleen Mosel Weaver received 56.95% of the vote. York Gage Seifert received 43.05%. For the office of the city clerk, Joanne Rigona received 100% of the vote. For the office of city treasurer, Michael J. Corrin received 100% of the vote. For the office of Ward 2 Alderman, Tina M. Belke received 100% of the vote. For the office of Ward 4 Alderman, there was no candidate. For the office of Ward 6 Alderman, Sylvia McIver received 52.50% of the vote, and Christine L. Collins received 47.50% of the vote. And that's all.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. City administrator's report.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Let's move to department head information. I believe Dan has a report to share.
Yes, would you like me to go over that one agenda item? That's the new business
Why
there?
don't you?
All right.
Dan, you're going to make it real fast, right?
Sure. I'll be real brief. This evening's item, there's a new bond on new business. There's an item referred to the IGA intergovernmental agreement with DuPage County for street lighting. That street lighting basically encompasses portion of 75th Street from Williams just up to Nantucket, almost Farmingdale, as well as on Plainfield, very limited section on Plainfield, east and west of Cass, and as well as on Cass Avenue from Plainfield basically to Jewel or north of 75th Street. During our budgets discussions, what we had basically looked at was what we referred to as theme lighting. The theme lighting is going to refer, if anyone is familiar with Chase, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Chase, excuse me, but the lights at Chase, they have two lights that are basically adjacent to Cass Avenue. Those lights are basically theme lighting, and that is the theme lighting that's going to be proposed for an area on 75th Street as well as Cass Avenue. On 75th Street, the theme lighting is basically going to be a pole that's 40 foot tall. It's going to have basically two, I'll call it luminaires that reach over the road. Further down, and I believe the height is about 20 foot from the ground, will be the theme lighting. The theme lighting, depending on where it's at in the median, may have two heads versus one head, but again, it's somewhat technical, so I'll leave that discussion for another time. Again, the area that incorporates the theme lighting is on 75th Street from Brookhaven up to Concentra Health. So that kind of gives you an idea of the theme lighting of where we're looking at. The theme lighting is bronze poles, so they're different than the aluminum poles that we'll have further to the west or to the east, or what's referred to as a standard. On Cass Avenue, the theme lighting will be from Jewel up to Plainfield Road. On Plainfield Road, there will be one light that'll be immediately west and one light immediately east, fronting Brookhaven. The rest of the lights are on 75th Street. Those are standard lighting, what you saw prior to construction. We were able to go back to DuPage County almost a year and a half ago and requested DuPage County to look for additional funding to put the street lights back. DuPage County was successful, in conjunction with the city, successful to get a grant. Of this grant, the total cost is approximately $700,000 for this project. The city of Darien will be responsible for $276,000. The $276,000 includes the design engineering, federal engineering, I should say. There's certain protocols that need to be followed for this project because it is a grant process. Also, the consultant, DuPage County's consultant, will be responsible for the bidding documents, the specifications, awarding the contract, and construction engineering. We're going to be reutilizing the aluminum poles outside of the theme lighting. We also found out this evening, let me back up a second, that the total cost responsible to get into the city of Darien is $276,000. Of that $276,000, earlier this evening, I had an email that we will be receiving a grant in the amount of $25,000, which will have the potential to reduce the overall cost here. We're waiting for what's referred to as a memo of understanding from DuPage County explaining the terms and conditions of this $25,000. With this is a little bit of a different IGA. This is a one-stop IGA. So in other words, this evening we're looking at the engineering, the bid specifications, the awarding of the contract, as well as the construction observation. This project is approximately $40,000, has the potential to be $40,000 over our original budget. The reason for that is, pending on when the contract is awarded, the vendor may have a difficult time securing the lighting in a timely fashion, which would bring us into winter construction. Winter construction, you may have the opportunity to work through it. You may not. If you do not, what will happen is you will go into the engineering portion, which is construction engineering. That construction engineering, even though the project is stopped, there's still weekly, monthly reports that are due because of the federal guidelines. So we have the potential of going over on the construction engineering. Again, the agenda basically states that if the project exceeds a cost of $254,000, that we would come back to City Council requesting for additional monies. This is only for the construction portion of it. The contingency that we're asking for is $21,450 if we do go into the construction engineering over the winter.
Thank you.
Dan, what color did you say the poles were?
They're bronze. It's almost a black. If you look at the Chase lights, those are bronze.
Okay, because they call them black in the memo.
Yes, isn't it?
Any other questions? Alderman Shower?
Thank you. Dan, have we ever gotten a cost on what total cost would be to bury all the lines, the overhead lines underground
Yes.
throughout everything?
Yes, $1.8 million is ComEd is telling us.
That's correct.
Okay. Any chances of ever getting a grant for that or anything?
No.
Okay.
Alderman Marquez?
Dan, maybe for the public, it should be stated what the cost would be if we didn't go with theme lighting.
That cost would be approximately I'm gonna say it's $107,000 approximately.
It's $107,000. Because I think it's important that people know that we're going to bear the cost for some type of lighting one way or another.
That is correct.
That the DuPage County wasn't going to go back and put those lights back again.
No, the overall cost of the project is approximately $700,000.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dan. Let's move to the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting approval of two warrants, the last warrant for the last fiscal year and the first warrant for the current fiscal year. First, last fiscal year, warrant 141524, in the amount of $163,490.58, as well as payroll for the period ended April 30th, 2015, the amount of $233,900.09, for a total to be approved of $397,390.67.
Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Seifert, second by Alderman Belzak. Any discussion? The roll, please.
Seifert.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The next warrant?
Next warrant, first warrant of the current fiscal year of 15/16/01 in the amount of $152,120.46 from the listed funds, and no payroll during this period.
Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Seifert, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any discussion? The roll, please.
Seifert.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The warrant has been approved. Let's move to standing committee reports. Alderman, oh, I'm sorry. The Treasurer Corn has a report on the police pension.
Okay, as you may recall, we had a meeting of the Police Pension Fund last Wednesday night, our quarterly review. Unfortunately, it doesn't sync, it syncs with the calendar quarters as opposed to our fiscal year. So the quarter ended March 31st, reflected a return for the quarter from the two. We have two pension managers. One had a return of 2.2% and the other just over 2% for the quarter. And year-to-date for the year from April 1st through March 31st, so on a 12-month basis, the return for one of them was about 7.5% and the other about 6.5%. So on average, it looks like we should end up the year pretty close to our 7% return, which is what the actuaries have been forecasting. Looks like April was basically a flat month, so I'm feeling reasonably comfortable that we should come in pretty close to our 7%, not significantly under or over based on that discussion.
Does anybody have any questions for the treasurer on that report? And let's move to standing committee reports. Alderman Marquez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to report tonight that the minutes of the March 23rd, 2015 Municipal Services Committee meeting were approved and submitted to the clerk's office. And the next meeting of the Municipal Services Committee is a little different. It's on Tuesday, May 26, 2015 at 6:30 here in the council chambers.
Alderman Shower.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually have a few items tonight. The minutes of the April 6, 2015 Admin Finance meeting have been submitted to the clerk's office. At tonight's Admin Finance meeting, we also had a discussion on coyotes and passing an ordinance against feeding of them. But we found there were just way too many issues in passing an ordinance against feeding wild animals. We decided to continue the education process of letting residents know that eliminating sources of food is still the best approach. We also had a discussion about putting a couple links up on the new website directly to, was it to YouTube for
Yeah, there's a
coyotes?
couple different sites.
And just basically, again, continue that education process. And then finally, our next Admin Finance meeting will be held on Monday, June 1st, 2015 at 6 p.m. in our upstairs meeting room.
Alderman McIver.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The next meeting of the Police Committee will be on Monday, May 18th at 6 p.m. in the police training room across the parking lot.
6 p.m. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to questions, comments, agenda related. This portion of the City Council meeting is for anyone to address any of the items that are on our agenda this evening. And if you did want to speak to any of these issues, please come forward to the microphone.
Dale Schaefer, 8621 Creekside Lane.
Would you say that into the microphone, Mr. Schaefer?
Oh, I certainly will. Dale Schaefer, 8621 Creekside Lane. I think I got that right. Anyway, as one of the biggest critics of the proposed golf course changes, I felt compelled to at least come up and say something tonight. Basically, when the concept came up, I applaud one of the people that communicated with you, Peter Stutkus. I think it's on page 90 of your report. But anyway, he talked about how the condition of the course has deteriorated, and he was very pleased to hear the new management was coming in with a plan to improve to help tax revenue as well as improve playing on the course, with one exception. I'm the homeowner that lives right where the tee area will be for the driving range. So obviously, myself and several of our neighbors were extremely concerned about lighting, the netting, the safety factors that this new addition would bring. As I talked to different realtors, They said, you live on a golf course, great. You live on a driving range, you gotta be kidding. However, I want to appreciate Mr. Bob, who is head of the golf course, for working with us and the neighbors, eliminating the lighting, the netting aspect, and working with us to put plantings around the different area to obscure it and to help the safety of it. Last night, a great big limb fell again. And so I appreciate what he is about to do. On that basis, I am very pleased, with apprehension as opposed to what your committee said. We all approve it, all the neighbors approve it, with a little bit of apprehension. Like to see how the safety aspect will be in a year. Bob has guaranteed to work with different people to watch the balls and the games and things of that nature as they are going. But the most important point, I want to appreciate Dan Gombach, who did extra work above and beyond to work with the community members of Creekside and Bob of Carriage to work out a resolution that I think could be satisfactory for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Dale. Did anyone else want to address the council this evening? Well, let's move to old business, and there being no old business this evening, we'll move right to the consent agenda. I have quite a number of items to read. I read these for the viewing audience. Could I skip it tonight?
You could.
I think I could skip these.
Make it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would suggest
I-
that. It's all on the website and it's out in the audience. So they're all
I would, everyone in the audience has a copy of the city council's agenda this evening. The only changes I'd like to point out is the item M, which was the motion to, regarding the 4th of July parade. There was some typos in the agenda memo. The 4th of July happens to be on Saturday this year, and the year should have been 2015 in the memo. Also, we have removed item N under the consent agenda and moved it to new item F. It is the motion, it is the issue regarding the expenditure of funds for 4 police vehicles. So with that being said, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Alderman Marquez, seconded by Alderman Belke. The roll, please.
Marquez.
Aye.
Belke.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Seifert.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
7 ayes.
All the items have been approved. The next item is new business. It is the swearing in of the new officers, and I get to go first, and I'm going to stand down here to take the oath of office. I've asked Joanne Coleman, our former city clerk, to read the
Oath.
the oath of office, and I'd like to ask my family to come forward too. For the viewing audience, this is my 2 granddaughters, who I'm very proud of, and their mom and dad happens to be in the audience this evening, so thank you for bringing them with you. I state your name. I, Kathleen Mosley Weaver, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and to faithfully discharge the duties of mayor of the city of Darien to the best of my ability. Thank you very much.
the honor of giving you.
And
the
I would
card.
like to, I have the honor of swearing in, the card, and I'm going to have the honor of swearing in Joan Regona as our city clerk. Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Joanne E. Regona,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the city clerk of the city of Darien
of the city clerk of the city of Darien
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay, congratulations. You got it, I made it big.
Thank you. Next.
I'm going to get out of the way here.
I feel like the State of the Union address, we get it from class.
Sharon, do you want to stand right there? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I could be a little kid.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Joseph Corin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and the
Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of city treasurer
the duties of city treasurer
according to the best of my
according to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tina M. Belkey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Alderman Ward 2
of Alderman Ward 2
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Okay, I keep my,
I gave you one more. I don't remember getting one last time.
okay, Alderman McIver.
Is there a teleprompter or something?
Yeah, yeah, you have to talk slowly, that's right.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sylvia McIver,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Alderman Ward 6
the duties of Alderman Ward 6
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is a motion to approve a resolution commending Alderman Seifert for his contributions to the city of Darien. And let me read that resolution. Whereas Alderman Seifert was elected as an alderman of Ward 4 in 2011 for a 4-year term, and whereas Alderman Seifert was raised in Darien and is now raising his family in the house he grew up in, and whereas Alderman Seifert attended Lace Elementary, Eisenhower Junior High, and Hinsdale South High School, and whereas Alderman Seifert joined the Air Force shortly after high school and was honorably discharged, and whereas Alderman Seifert has served on the municipal services and police committees, and whereas the city of Darien is reliant upon individuals to provide their time, energy, and talent to ensuring the city of Darien remains a nice place to live, now therefore be it resolved by Mayor Kathleen Weaver and the City Council of the City of Darien that Alderman Seifert is hereby commended for his contributions and service to the city of Darien as alderman from 2011 to 2015. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belke. The roll, please.
Shower,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Mayor Weaver,
Aye.
Clerk Regona, aye. Treasurer Corn,
Aye.
Attorney Murphy,
Aye.
Administrator Vanna,
Yes.
unanimous. The vote is unanimous.
Would you please step forward, sir?
Well, I want to thank everybody, Mayor Weaver and the City Council, Brian Vanner, Director Gombach, Police Chief Paul Nosek. It's been an interesting 4 years for sure. I don't do anything halfway. I think I've shown that pretty frequently here on the City Council. I'd like to think that at the end of the day, City Council is better off because I've been here for 4 years. I'm not afraid to ask questions, and I commend all of you on your hard work, and I wish you all good luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then, item C on the agenda. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a motion to approve the reappointment of our department heads. Brian Vanna, City Administrator, Ernest Brown, Police Chief, and Daniel Gombach, Director of Municipal Services. Do I have a motion to approve? Well, don't all raise your hands at once here. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Belke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here,
Okay.
you skipped
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead here. Okay, the roll, please.
Shower,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
6 ayes.
Would the gentleman come forward, and I'd like to swear you in? Did you want to go down? Do you want to stay up?
That's the-
Okay, okay.
She skipped.
These guys are all
He's got a
taller,
medical
way taller than
He's
I
got a
tell you,
medical excuse.
you look pretty spiffy in that outfit there.
Yeah, she went from B to
Got
D.
to get him a
I
little
don't have to
tight
raise my
for
hand
his
this time, I forgot the last time. Raise your right hand, and I state your name,
I, Brian Vanna,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of, in your office, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, your cards.
Congratulations, Brian.
Oh, hey.
We have to go back to the appointment of the.
I said we
work
were
my
here.
way over here and go back to C. On the agenda. Yeah, we skipped C, so that's okay, no problem.
Okay, gentlemen, I have your cards here.
Get you
Dan,
guys.
Your appointment cards.
Remember getting this thing last time.
I just heard,
Careful, you're rubbing, I'm starting to rub off on you.
crossed it off on my list and moved right on.
I'm starting to rub off on you, these snide comments.
I'd like to go back to item C, motion to advise and, a motion to advise and consent to the Mayor Weaver's council appointments. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Shower. Discussion? The roll, please.
Kenny,
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
6 ayes.
The motion has been approved. Let's move to item E, motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the County of DePage for the purpose of sharing costs for design and construction engineering, IDOT letting, and construction for the lighting project within the limited locations of 75th Street and Cass Avenue, and that's the area that Dan Gombach described this evening, in an amount not to exceed $275,588.64. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman McIver, seconded by Alderman Marquez. Discussion. I think Alderman Belke, you wanted to address some items? Or did you?
Yes, for the police?
No, oh, that's
Or-
not the, yeah, that's
that
the
one,
item you
that
were,
one.
okay. Any other discussion on that item? Yes, Alderman Belzak?
I just had one question for Dan. Did you say you had $21,000 of cushion built into the $275,000 figure?
That's the The 275 includes the contingency of
Contingency, yeah.
21,000 for winter construction engineering if the potential is there.
And so that if we get the grant too, we really have 46,000 built in as contingency.
Correct. That will be discounted at the end of the day, but again, until that memo of understanding is back from the county, I want to make sure that we have that in our hands before we just start discounting.
I guess my point was, in a worst-case scenario, we should still never go over the 275 number.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, the roll, please.
McIver,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
6 ayes.
The motion has been approved. Item F is a motion to approve the expenditure of budgeted funds to purchase 4 police vehicles, administrative vehicles, in the amount of $78,165. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman McIver, seconded by Alderman Belzak. Discussion. Alderman Belkey?
Yes, in our work session, we talked a little bit about these vehicles. They were approved in the budget for an amount similar to what's presented here tonight. There was some additional information shared regarding the EcoBoost, because that's an added cost for each vehicle. It was proven out, per miles per gallon and things like that, that it would be very beneficial over the actually long term, but it pays for itself within a few years, it looks like. So that part was discussed. There's some options on the vehicles that I would not be in favor of, which is remote starts, which would save the city over $2,000.
Did you want to make a motion to amend the motion?
I could do that. I could amend it to include the 4 vehicles for a different amount, which would have been in the amount that was approved in the budget of $76,820.
Do I have a second to that motion?
Oh,
Yes.
No, I wasn't seconding. I just had a comment.
I believe Alderman Belkey just made a motion to amend the motion that's on the floor to change the amount, to eliminate the starters, remote starters, and in an amount not to exceed $76,820. Do I have a second for that motion? Alderman Belzak? Note of clarification, do we vote on the amendment
Do
right
the
away?
amendment first, and then we go backwards to the original.
Okay,
What about discussion?
okay, any
Yeah.
discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. When it comes to, believe me, I'm not for spending money that we don't have to spend, but because the vehicles aren't used on a daily basis and the climate we live in, the fact that these vehicles are sitting out in the parking lot, and, I see the remote start really not as a benefit during the nice weather, summertime, but in the winter, I know that I regret not spending the extra money on a remote start on my own vehicle that sits on a driveway every single day of the winter, even with frost. I consider that instead these, individuals be maybe sitting in their car wasting time while the car warms up and defrosts. I figure that it's actually money well invested in terms of that, so.
Alderman Shower?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I kind of agree with Sylvia. In this situation, if you're getting into a car and you're going to start it up, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to start it up, I'm going to immediately put it into drive and start driving as fast as I can to try and warm the car up. This is the point I'm trying to make. You're going to end up warming the oil up by having the remote start. I think you're probably going to get longer engine life out of it by doing it this way. So I like to see the remote start back into it.
Let's take we have the amendment on the floor.
Okay.
The roll, please.
Belkey,
Aye.
Belzak,
No.
Or wait. Are we doing it right?
No is to the amendment. We're voting on the amendment.
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
As I amended it.
As you
Correct.
amended it. Mhm.
Kenny,
No.
Marquez,
No.
McIver,
No.
Shower.
No.
1 aye and 4 nays.
5 nays.
5,
Yeah,
yes,
5 nays.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Trying to
so-
subtract the one. Carry over.
The
five
amendment,
nays.
the amendment fails. We're back to the original motion. Any other discussion on the original motion? Then the roll, please.
McIver,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Belkey,
No.
Kenny,
Aye.
Marquez,
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
5 ayes and 1 nay.
The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature from the Alderman. Alderman McIver.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was thinking about, our best use of our technology in terms of our meetings. As Dan went up, to show the poster, we invested in these TV screens, and I don't know that we're really leveraging technology that could potentially be broadcast to residents. I don't think they can see those drawings very well. I know it probably takes a little extra effort to be able to do that, but since these, meetings are broadcast over and over again, I guess my request would be that, if possible, even when it comes to maybe throwing up the consent agenda, or the new business, old business, when we throw it up there, just so people can see what's listed, so maybe we save some time from not reading everything, and yet residents have a chance to see what we're going to be discussing or voting on. So it's just an idea of trying to take advantage of what we have.
I think it's a very good idea.
I do too. I agree.
It saves me the trouble of reading the consent agenda when we have so many items on there.
Law requires us now to read it into the record.
No kidding, really?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so back to, I still have to read it, but it would
But
be.
it would be
I
helpful,
think
I
it would be
think.
helpful if we used the equipment that we do have.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other announcements, Alderman Belzak?
Yes, on Sunday, May 17th, the Darien Swim and Recreation Club will be having a pancake breakfast. It's located at 1001 Hinsbrook Avenue in Darien. It's from 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
Thank you.
I have a question on that. Is that when people can sign up for pool passes and things like that?
You can sign up for pool passes that day. You do not need to be a member to come to the pancake breakfast.
It's an adjunct of the Darien Dash, correct?
I don't believe it's affiliated with the Darien Dash, but certainly anyone who runs in the Dash is welcome to come over for
Oh, okay.
pancakes thereafter.
I thought it was, I thought they worked together. I just wanted to make a comment. Thank you to the voters for re-electing me. It is my honor to serve the city of Darien. It's a wonderful, it's such a pleasure to do this job with the staff that we have and the people that I work with on the city council. They make everyone here makes the job so much easier. Our professional staff, that I can't say enough about our department heads. They are the best, and thank you. You make me look good as the mayor of the city of Darien. So thank you very much for this honor to serve again. So. Does anyone in the audience want to address the city council?
I did have one thing for Mr. Geinbeck. Earlier during workshop, you were going to ask you about the flags, the Julie flags, and what the protocol is, because my ward seems to be decorated with them, yet there's no construction being done. Could you maybe expound on that a little bit?
Sure. What Alderman County is referring to, obviously with summer coming, any type of excavation, number one, by law, whether you're a resident, contractor, the person that is actually doing the work needs to call in a Julie. Even if there's multi-contractors, multi-workers, everyone is responsible for their own Julie. Julies usually will take place within 24 hours. That means you're going to have yellow, red, orange, blue flags on your property. Those flags should be in place for no longer than 2 weeks. If there's no work completed within 2 weeks, feel free to remove those flags, because a new Julie has to be called in after 2 weeks. So again, if any resident out there has got concerns about the type of work going on, please give us a call. And if they're out there for longer than 2 weeks, please feel free to pull the flags and discard them.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's nothing further, do I have a motion to adjourn? Alderman Guyver, seconded by Alderman,
Back.
seconded by Alderman Shower. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
It's just a matter of time.
Turning the mics off.
I couldn't go away.
I can help fill in on the adjournment part of it if you guys want.
I was going to take his name.